Welcome back to Dabbling Dads with your host Kyle and Tyler, here to dabble into just about anything. You can find us everywhere using the hashtag dabblingdads. Thank you for listening. Hope you enjoy.
What's up, man?
What's up, dude?
It's been a long time, I feel like.
It's been at least 2 weeks, I think. Did we record right before Andrew's wedding? I can't remember. That was 3 weeks ago, I think.
Yeah, it's been a long 3 weeks, man, for me.
For you, for
surgery,
sure.
so it was Andrew's wedding, and then I think I had an attack the next night. Or then 2 nights.
They got married on
2
Saturday.
nights.
It happened on Monday.
Yeah, Monday. So the 10th. And then you were on vacation. I was in the hospital.
Yeah.
And then...
And we do have some videos that we sort of have
ready to go.
Recorded, just not out yet, but literally Tyler was down and out, like in the hospital.
Yeah, but Kyle has upped his... we did get like the concert from the wedding,
Yes.
you know, so you uploaded that, so in next emergency situation, we might be able to still...
I sort of know what I'm doing now.
Not the YouTube part.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I used
yeah,
YouTube to upload it.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what
right.
I used, and it was huge. It took forever, way longer than I thought it would. I guess it's not. It probably was as big as one of ours. I don't know if sound makes it any bigger, but it was loud. And
Anyways, we haven't
Doesn't
put out
matter.
a new one in a while,
Yeah.
so especially our Twitter people who don't actually know us, we'll have something for you now coming out. So just a couple other announcements before we get into what we're going to be just dabbling into tonight.
Yeah.
Is let's show them this, man.
All right,
so real quick, just to preface this real
Yeah.
quick. So I teach biology, the old school I used to teach at. I'm pretty sure the student, he might correct me if I'm wrong, because he'll at least listen to this part probably. I know for sure he was, I think he was in one of my middle school classes even all the way back then. Anyways, always one of the smartest kids I thought in any class, respectful. He had a genuine love of science, or he tricked me at least.
Yeah.
You know, I've played that game with teachers before in English, and I hate English. Not good at it. So, but, man, one of just the nicest kids I ever taught, one of the smartest kids that I ever taught, and I had actually asked him to draw something for me before. So I was definitely in the freshman annex room. So this was like high school chemistry, my first like high school chemistry class that I taught or whatever. And I don't want to go into a long tangent dabble story about it. But anyway, so I've taught him a couple times, but I wanted to get a tattoo. And when I only had Mason and Corbin, I think you've seen the drawing of the Mason jar and the raven, because Corbin means raven-haired, but we'll have all the kids on here one day. He's not raven-haired.
No. Well, quite the opposite.
So, but that drawing was actually made by the same person,
Oh, okay.
Eli Creasy. He said I could say his name.
Okay, cool.
So how it all started is, I know you love, you know, movie art and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I saw him on Facebook. He graduated from Union, so he does like media or whatever, digital design media is like his thing. And I was like, oh well, you know, our pictures, if you've seen them, they can all improve.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, maybe he could do that. But then I saw on his Facebook page that, you know, he draws like, I don't know what it's called, surrealism.
I think it's probably called surrealism. It's not supposed to be photorealistic. Photorealistic would be like the dude, bearded artist who I've shouted out on here before. He does photorealistic. I think this is called photorealism, maybe. So it looks like us, but it's not supposed to be like a intricate, right to the detail drawing. But it's great. I mean,
So it's
Let's show it.
hold on real quick.
All
Real
right,
quick.
all
So
right,
just
all
this,
right.
it's always been my mom always said you get what you put out of things. So I appreciate she does that. So like when I took art classes, I hated art, but you put in something, you're gonna get something out of it. I wish I was more creative back then. So in saying that, I can't draw at all, but this is my first purchased, commissioned piece of art. So this is one of a kind. He did it for us. He watched a couple of them. He said I could shout him out on there. It was perfectly fine. I told him I wouldn't share it on Facebook until I at least showed it on our Dabbling Dads. So, and then we'll get into what we're here to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So,
I don't know if you can hold it up. Where?
so obviously we got Terminator in the middle. So we did some research tonight and feel like it's me from the first episode and Kyle from the
Third, I think.
Yeah. So, anyways, man, I really appreciate him doing that. I wanted to shout it out to him. We're hoping he can help us out with some of our media stuff moving forward as well. So, anyways, we're here tonight to do our first episode of Just Dabbling Big Brother.
Yep.
I'm sure you heard it at the very beginning of the intro, so
Yeah.
and it obviously will be in the title. But we haven't talked about it yet. On the episode that's going to be out when this comes out, or really close to it, with your brother, you kind of told the story, at least to not getting voted off, we think maybe, but he told the story of, you know, how you were on a reality show, even all the way to the details of the first applying through like Twitter or whatever.
I tried to deep dive into it. We got it so far off in a couple different places that night. It's going to be a funny one. If you like old school wrestling at all, you should watch that one. We talked a lot about wrestling on that one.
Yep.
But
talk about that, you being on the reality show. Yeah. You can go back. We did like 2 right before the finale of Survivor. My man here nailed it. Natalie's coming back. Who's going to win? Who should win?
Yeah.
It was nailed. So like the produced part of it, you understand how they push it. And then I'm sure we'll talk about that a little bit when he gets into Big Brother. So we're going to talk game strategy.
Yeah, but you know, I can't pick. You know, Big Brother will be different. Like, you're sort of putting me up on this pedestal. I'm not going to make any. I will tell who my favorite is and that type of stuff tonight and whatnot. I don't have a clue who's going to win. Like, there's a lot of.
It's worthy to do that.
No, and Big Brother's hard because it is filmed live.
And there's going to be some examples though where I'm sure
it's live, but it's live. I mean, when they have a live episode every week, that's considered a live television show. Yeah, we watch the recorded stuff during the week, but if you do the feeds, you can watch pretty much 24/7 in that house. Yeah,
just as an example, like Emily was saying, "Oh, this is produced when they're pulling the chips out," and I said, "No, the chips are not produced. What we just saw before they pulled the chips, because they already know who was in the chips." I said they had that conversation of "Will you play with me?" with everyone. We only see the conversation of whose chips are going to be pulled. So you like tricks your brain to be like, how did they know that she was going to pull that chip, or that's produced, or that's fake as well? The chip has already been pulled. That episode is produced.
Yeah.
So they might have had 3 or 4 conversations about "Will you play for me?" But they're only going to show us the one of whose chips pulled, and then they had it backwards.
Or what kind of depends on what kind of games being played by some of these people. When they're doing it like that, I'm sure those producers are hopefully on Twitter listening to what the people who watch their show are saying and who they want to see. So they'll sort of, you can tell when the tide turns on a lot of these shows if you just pay attention, honestly. And
the producers are paying a lot more attention than us.
Your coach side of you always wants the underdog to win. The person that has a chance that really doesn't, looks like the production's doing a great job making it look like they have a chance. But they really don't have a chance. That's who Tyler wants to win, because they're truly the underdog most of the time, and I think Tyler's true. Coach Hart comes out and always pulls for that person, and always just have to break his heart sometimes. Like, they're not going to win.
I know.
And Big Brother's different. You can usually tell about halfway through the game who's playing the type of game that can win, but there's so many twists on Big Brother that it's hard
if you can on Big Brother, this man, and we were talking about Survivor then though. So Survivor's produced from the beginning. So, you know, you have a huge advantage of being able to predict Big Brother with just, you know, your knowledge of the shows and how it works. But let's just dabble into Big Brother. So,
yeah.
So just in general, Big Brother is more of, you can start even right now, but as it moves forward, you can start to predict of who you think the last 3 or 4 people are going to be.
Yeah.
The rest of it after that is more of who wins a challenge, and that's almost unpredictable.
Well, if you're watching this, hopefully you're caught up. Today's date is before we go into what has happened and this season. And if you're watching Big Brother right now, you know it's season 22, All Stars, in the middle of a pandemic.
Yeah, they have to come out when they're voted out, and they just were in a bubble, and there's no way anybody can get coronavirus, and they have to come out and wear their mask.
So is it so they're not exposed to Julie before they go to wherever they're going? I don't know what's going on. It makes no sense.
Okay, no. Let's talk about that for a second, because I like the conspiracy part of it, because I haven't thought about it like that. Because sometimes I like to do twists. The only thing now, I used to think that it was a psyop, but now I've done clicked in my brain. They're going to a different bubble.
Maybe.
So they don't want to be exposed from Julie. Because then when they re-enter the game...
Or get the chance to.
someone's going to re-enter the game.
Yeah, at some point.
There's no way no one's re-entering this game. They didn't announce what the new twist was. I thought tonight's episode, just to give everyone where we would be, I did not.
What's today's date? The 27th?
I don't even know.
Today is
the 27th.
Today is
I did not,
September 27th.
Basically, we want to do this Just Dabbling episode after we watch it on Thursday night. I think that's what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do one episode a week at least right now. It'll come out on Saturday before Sunday's episode, and then we'll all watch the week together. That's gonna be how we do the week. Thursday's over. We'll know the head of household if it's announced before we know, or if we can find out before we know, so we can at least use that because that affects how Sunday, Wednesday, and Thursday goes.
Yeah.
So hopefully we know who that is.
Yeah. Keep talking. Sorry.
So anyways, this is the All-Star season.
That makes sense. They could be going somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, back to what
because in my head, Julie's probably in a bubble too, so she probably doesn't have it, but maybe not. She has to be around. Who all does Julie have to be around? Think about it. There's a group of people. Makeup. Producer. Her script. These people were in a complete bubble. The only reason they would be 10 feet away with a mask on, with no studio audience,
is for no exposure
for no exposure to keep that pathway to the bubble. They are going directly into another place. What if this season of All-Stars, it ends up being 2 games going simultaneously, and only the people sent home know that another game is going on?
Yeah.
And they bring back 3 or 4 people, and it gets down to 3 or 4 over here, and they're playing a whole nother game, 3 or 4 in another house. These people know they're coming back to a group of 8.
Yeah.
These people think they're in the Final 4. That would be sick.
It's a pretty cool twist.
Who else just has... Everyone has one person coming back, and they all do a battle. Who has a whole nother game going on over there, and you think you're in the last 3 or 4, and these people are over here knowing that they're not in the last 3 or 4,
Yeah.
and it's somehow we got 2 games going on. I would watch it. I would never stop watching it.
It would be incredible. I've seen a lot of hate because if you haven't watched on the 27th,
stop watching now.
Stop watching now because I'm about to give spoilers. From what I've read on Twitter, and I've looked, and it's all over the place, and some people are extremely pissed for whatever reason, but Enzo, I believe, is the head of household right now after Wednesday's eviction.
Thursday's eviction.
What
do you mean right now? You got it.
I've lost my...
So Enzo is the head of household right now.
Spot. That's what it's looking like on Twitter right now.
Okay.
That Enzo has won it, yeah.
Enzo's a wild card.
Janelle went home tonight. Janelle's a legend. I wish I would have wrote down the seasons she was on. It doesn't really matter. If you're watching it, you know.
All-Stars and 11 or 14.
Something. I
have them all written down, but I forgot my notes.
She is a competition beast. Like, I think she has the all-time record and all type of stuff. But
she tied the all-time record for most victories of a veto and a head of household in the...
If you're that good, you must win because you go home.
All she pitched this time was, I can't win comps, this, that, and other. They fucked up, though. And we'll go into that, too, I'm sure. But, I love the meat shield technique. But let me tell you where Janelle messed up. And I don't know, maybe we'll make this Just Dabbling more organized as we go.
Yeah, because we missed the first eviction. We missed it. So we're not even going to talk about it because we're not going to go that far back.
Yeah, it's just pointless.
This is this week. The week
we've been watching it. And, Emily, we haven't watched it in a couple seasons. But whenever we used to talk about trying to get me on a show, just because of the story I had and this, that, and the other, we watched them religiously of how to play the game. And a lot of people think I would be good at this game. You wouldn't believe how quiet I would be in this game in the first 4 or 5 weeks. I would be a lot quieter.
The guy that supposedly just won HOH is being right now. I think Enzo's
smart, and there's a couple of them playing that smart. But Enzo, he's been throwing votes off. But anyways, let me go back to where I think Janelle
keep your mouth shut and be in the right room at the right time.
I would be in every room. I wouldn't sleep one fucking minute in there, boys, and I don't need it. I wouldn't need it in there. I would need it some, but I would be the last person to go to sleep most nights.
Yeah.
But anyway, so where's Janelle? Janelle had the perfect pitch. And the weird thing was Cody and Tyler are a power pair like Cody's first game.
Yep.
Just like Memphis' first game. Memphis is too shady, so I think Cody's head, he thinks him and Tyler, that's his ride or die right now to the end. Tough pair to beat because they could just flip-flop HOHs and vetoes for a long time.
Yeah.
But where Janelle messed up is she only talked to Cody about I'm the perfect meat shield. She should have had Tyler in the room too because she didn't know. Which how would she know? But she's one of the best personable player games of knowing who's lying, who's not that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
But if she would have had Tyler and Cody in there, she should know because she also acts like she watches it every year. That Tyler, even the season he did really great in.
Yeah, she tweets. She like live tweets every episode, every season. Yeah.
So Tyler is one that gets paranoid. Even though he sometimes calms himself down and doesn't, he's the one that gets paranoid. And earlier he was saying, they could have been on, it could have been.
That was Cody. That was Cody on his first season. That was they've switched roles.
That's interesting. Yes.
It is.
But I think if she'd had Tyler in the room,
lost.
I think if she would have had Tyler in the room with Cody, and she would have did the meat shield pitch. You two are about to be the biggest targets in the house. Mm-hmm. 2 females have already went home. After I go home, y'all are going home.
Yep.
And she pitched it perfect. But I think if she'd had Tyler and Cody in the room, I think we'd be seeing Devon go home right now at that point in the game.
And what I saw, and this will go into what I'm saying, I'm not trying to bring up what people are bitching about on Twitter too much because that's all people do on Twitter is bitch. But they're mad because Enzo is supposedly I wish we had live feeds, man. Like, I got to look at how much that costs because it might be worth it just to be able to catch up.
Maybe we do on Hulu somehow, or you go online. I don't know how to do it.
We'll look it up after this. I really don't. I started watching it with our good buddy Chase Osbrooks. I can say his last name. He's no longer with us, but
that's where the game talk really is. As I used to watch it too for hours, and they show like 15-minute long conversations.
And he was about it. Like, he would watch the live feeds and he would do all that stuff. I've just never done it. I like watching the TV production for what it is. It's great television. People are like, I can't believe you still watch reality television. It's like, what are you talking about? Like, it's some of the best produced television out there. Like, these people know what they're doing. That's why they're still on television. Like,
this has been going on for a long time.
It's good. Like, you don't watch it just because you don't like it. Like, that's one of my issues today. I'm not going to get into that at all because it's about Big Brother. But they're mad because another white, straight male has won.
Who's mad?
All of Twitter, the Big Brother Twitterverse.
Do they want it to be a game that people have a chance to win? What's supposed to happen is them females need to be playing.
Nicole Franzio has won the game.
Didn't win, but
who was the real athletic girl that wore the bun on her head that won the game here recently? Dadgum, I can't believe I'm forgetting her name, man. Multiple girls have won the game. Like, don't get me wrong, physical competitions 9 times out of 10 in the Big Brother house are won by males.
Nicole couldn't win a physical competition if her life depended on him, bro.
No.
She's not going to win them. She plays one of the best social games you can play.
Yeah.
She's a listener. Good. She's smart. I like seeing her and Danny together, but they're going to go at it at some point in this game. I'm telling you, I think Danny it never works when you're the little person talking to everyone.
Yeah.
If you're the person listening to everyone, much different than you talking to everyone.
Unless you're Josh, and you're you remember Josh who won, who beat everybody. How
did he do it?
Because Paul would not own his game.
That's true. Paul just doesn't know. Paul knows how to play the game.
I know you wanted him to be on this season. I am so fucking glad he's not on this season of Big Brother. I cannot stand him.
That's fair.
But he plays. I mean, he got to the finals twice. Lost twice.
He plays the game really good. He just can't win the game. His speech sucks at the end. He can't win. He can play the game like. I mean, I like
go back to back.
Who's the guy that Ian beat? Who's the guy that Ian beat?
The doctor. Damn, man.
Damn, dude. You keep going.
Dan.
Yeah.
Yes, perfect. I'm glad you said damn.
Yeah, but Dan wasn't good enough. Those players know how to play the game, man. They just Derek, I think was another guy's name.
Derek was Cody's hitman partner.
That's right.
Derek Lavasseur.
Yeah, so there's just some good players that got left out. I just still don't understand why David's playing. That makes me think that someone got sick or someone tested negative because this is All-Stars, and I have nothing against David himself, but when you're the first person evicted on a challenge, not even a vote out, it's hard for me to consider you an All-Star, and I cannot believe
that was a race grab, and I'm not saying that to say any kind of way about anything. I love all people. We've had these conversations on there multiple times, but that was 100%. Y'all didn't watch last season.
No.
Yeah, so y'all missed it, man. It was a shit show, like a literal racist. People on there saying very racist things on live feeds. People screenshotting them, posting them all over Twitter.
Really?
Like,
It was
they had a big problem on their hands. Like, the finale was him coming back and pretty much being like, you don't know how bad that hurt me to see what you were saying about me on these feeds and this, that, and the other. So it was really ugly. So then bringing him back was sort of like a, hey, sorry about that, man. Like, sort of got typecasted type deal. And that's sort of what happened. I hate to say it, but it is.
That's fair. I mean, that's fair. It really is, but it is an all-star season. So
he doesn't belong. I agree with you.
I can't believe that they didn't just immediately put him up. The producers had to say he's not allowed to go home the first week. Had to. Because to me, if I was an all-star, and we all were all-stars, none of us are going home the first week.
No.
We all deserve to be here.
Or if anyone is, it's someone like Ian is who I would have sent him first. But he's one of my favorites. Like, he's dangerous.
So low.
He's in trouble though, man. I follow. You need to follow BB Live Feeds on Twitter, man. Write it down. BB Live Feeds.
BB.
And you can go on their page and just.
You think he's in trouble? I don't think he's in trouble at all. Based on mine, I think he's just laying low.
Well, I see. I haven't seen Enzo's game or what's going on the live feed, so I don't know. But apparently, he's been. That was one of the first people we talked about. Like, the first time I get power, he's got to go.
That's fair. I mean, the first time Cody got power, he wanted to get rid of the people who he thought were better than him in the game.
I think I think Ian's good enough at the game that he probably won't go home, but I think he will have some shots taken at him probably soon. That's my prediction from what I've read.
Enzo is a unique place in the house. He's in the Slick Six.
Yeah.
But
he's playing the listener role you've been talking about.
I love the listener
He's
role.
always chilling in the corner somewhere in a lot of the things I've seen. Not saying a whole lot, speaking when he needs to speak.
Being in the right room.
Yeah.
It's all about being in the right room.
He's old school chill Jersey guys, what he seems like.
He lives in like 3-story house.
Mm-hmm.
But he's and you know, we played it with Christmas that time. It's like
that's who Ian beat.
So it's like, you know, he was talking today, and, you know, he got a little crazy with Dave, but he's a good player, Enzo is. Yeah. And then he gave it to Christmas. He's like, I haven't talked game with Christmas. This was going to give me an opportunity to hang out with Christmas. Christmas was going to be in a good mood around me. I thought it was a good play, and he is playing. Oh, it's a great game he's playing. The more I'm thinking about it now, when you get me on these roles of these people who are playing the game, because you know me, I'm like super analyzing everybody at all times. So it's like, now I'm thinking he plays the swing vote, middle of the house guy with control, not floaterism. If that makes any sense.
And now he's already won a head of house, and now he has a head of house.
He's going to get rid of a power player.
He's going to get rid of whoever that big alliance wants him to get rid of.
Yeah, but I think, but they're going to be a little bit at the beginning like, hey, you've gone along with us for 3 weeks. You know, give him a little bone of control of like, who do you think's dangerous in this game? Yeah. Because I think Ian is someone who, I think Cody.
That name will come out of his mouth. I would almost put money on it, dude.
I think Cody is a good player, man, too. And I think that Cody knows what's going on.
Well, you don't. The problem with Cody is Cody's the type of player you would want to backdoor, in my opinion.
Later. Yeah.
You don't want to put him up there and just, hey, buddy, you can go play the veto competition, because now he's pissed because you've put him up there, and he's probably going to win. He was an MLS player. I don't know if you know that. Him and his brother both played at Rutgers College. He went on to play in MLS. I think his brother Paulie, who also played Big Brother at one point, and now is on the Challenge on MTV. Real loser. Brother is. I like Cody. Paulie's the older brother. He's a weird guy, but they're super athletes, man. You don't want to give that guy any reason to be pissed and playing in a veto with the chance of also not going home, pulling himself off, not going home, and then turning around and immediately winning a head of household and putting your ass up there. So that's the weird part of Big Brother is it's like, yeah, he's the obvious target, but we can't do that because we're going to screw ourselves unless we backdoor him.
He has a good social game, too.
Yeah, he has to be backdoored. It's the only way.
Yeah, you're right. It's the only way to get him out of there.
He's going to be hard to backdoor, though, because he's in a lot of people's pocket right now.
That's true. I think Memphis is in trouble.
Well,
I do. I think Kaiser's going to disappear into the shadows and then somehow.
It'd be smart of him to disappear. He could do the reverse of the girl. Who's the redhead that went home this week? Nicole. He's going to do the reverse Nicole A. And, you know, she was like in a 2-person alliance on the second week of the game and made it to finale night. First season, so
I mean, even when Janelle
he could. He's the type of guy that seems like he probably could.
Janelle had no clue what was going on in the game, and she's considered one of the greatest players of all time and spent more days in there than anyone ever has. Maybe not after the season's over, but she guessed wrong 4 times of who she thought on questions of Julie Chen. She had no idea what was going on in the game. She knew better. This game everyone's playing. You used to be able to pair up, whether it was a showmance or whatever, and that power couple could just kind of hang out, control the game, and run around. It happens over and over. Mm-hmm. This All-Star, it's more of they're trying to get powers of 4s and things like that, and like coupling up because everyone's married, everyone has kids. They're playing more Survivor
numbers game.
And Kaiser and them were playing just super old school. Oh, we're just going to pair up. No one's going to come after us until later. Well, no.
There used to be a lot of layers to Big Brother in the early days, and then the different alliances in between the showmances, and it was weird. It was strange. I'm gonna go back to Nicole Franzel for a minute. Okay. She surprised me just coming out and sort of. I mean, the person she talked to went home, so it didn't affect her too much. Like I talked about on my show, like I opened my mouth too soon, which immediately paints a target on your back. Like when you're the first person to say something like, "Well, you like to talk about me and this, that, and the other, so you're a have-not." Doing something like that, while might not necessarily hurt you in the short term, I think in the long term, it immediately is like, okay, like she's already shown she's going to be a loose cannon this season. She's already won. Yeah, she's fun to play with. Yeah, she's playing a good game, but she's got to go. So I don't think she'll go soon. But surely to God, she's got to be, she would be one of my top targets if I was in there. She's got to go.
It's crazy you say that because when Enzo said that and said he was putting, you think he's going to put Ian up and things like that, I was thinking, well, it might be time that Enzo might be one of them guys that just says, I don't want someone to win it who's already won it. So my two targets are Ian and Nicole F. Just like Cody was like, my two targets are going to be Janelle and Kaiser because I know they're a pair and I know they're 2 votes every single week. That's what I mean. That's why you go after the pairs because I only have 1 vote in this game.
Yeah.
They have 2 votes every time in this game. Till they're the last 2. I mean, that's just how it works. They don't make the last 2. It never happens. It always gets.
Well, the Hitman did it. They were incredible.
That's true too.
They were incredible.
And so did Memphis and his part. Mm-hmm. So I mean, I guess it can be done. I remember Nicole F. I guess the guy she's marrying. I'm glad that was the first.
I'm glad that was the first mention of Memphis. I don't want to talk about that guy at all. I just don't have anything nice to say about him. And
he's playing both sides.
Played very reckless as HOH that early in the game. That was pretty reckless.
Making people play the safety suite, I thought it was a mistake too. So they didn't announce a new twist, but we all know a new twist has to be coming. We talked about maybe someone coming back. But would you like to see, or do you think it would be unfair, the battle block, or where it's the battle of the block, where 4 people go? I think
that might happen for like a couple. Sometimes
like 2 weeks. Like it's the next
2 weeks is where 2 people will go home every week. They might to try and speed this thing up due to all the Corona shit. I could see some crazy stuff happening. This season's sort of unprecedented, like everything else that's going on right now. So.
Dude, I like what we were saying though. Now that you've told me that about them having the mask on and trying to keep them away from Julie, because Julie definitely is around makeup and people like that. Mm-hmm. That makes me think someone's coming back in the game.
Yeah. Well, they usually have a battle back almost every season, so surely that will happen. I'm going to get on Twitter, and I'm just going to. I know this is weird. We've never done this. This is our first time. We had literally nothing written down until I wrote down those 2 things that I've already talked about to Tyler. But I'm going to get on the Twitter live feed because literally the episode's been off for, I guess, a few hours now. So it gives people time who haven't watched to watch. And I'm just going to sort of scroll, and I'm going to go to top. It looks like Enzo is definitely the HOH.
So the HOH. So
going into our next.
Man, maybe I should have looked it up before I even said anything.
Say it. I got my phone out.
When they switched to permanently the golden power of veto, because I had to explain to Emily. I was like, it used to be like silver veto, and you could only save yourself, and then eventually the golden power of veto, right, came in at sometime. Like I wish Brooke Smith would watch this, or maybe we should call her on Zoom sometime, just randomly, and see if she.
On one of our BB, she would definitely.
On one of our Just Dabbling Big Brother, and just see if she would be like, we would just call her on Zoom, same time frame we're doing it right now. I
think she is like. Tried out, like gotten pretty far in the process.
I would like at least to talk about the process.
I'm pretty sure she got decently far in the process at least once for Big Brother.
I'll reach out to her.
So
I think it'd be cool. Just put her right here, like on a Zoom call or something on the
where
phone.
her voice can. She lives in Jersey, I believe.
I think she just moved. I saw her.
She's a flight attendant and went to school at the same place as us. But I don't know if she wants us talking about her or not. She probably doesn't care. She's done a podcast I know of. But Yeah, she's a huge Big Brother fan. But
She had like a Big Brother birthday party one time.
Yeah,
Pretty
hosted
crazy.
the whole thing.
So
anyways, when did BB go to Golden Power Veto?
Yeah. So I'm gonna keep talking.
Okay, go ahead.
So what I wrote down earlier when you were saying like you want to watch the live feeds, I think the Twitter live feeds and picking up on that would probably be good enough for me. But
since Big Brother 3, my guy.
Big Brother 3. So I knew it existed though at least.
It has been used in every succeeding season. The Golden Power Veto allowed the winner to remove one nominee off the nomination block if he or she so desired, including themselves.
Yeah, and protect that person. There used to be a way to where if you had the Golden Power Veto, you could give it to someone sitting there, but now you could be put up in their place. I think it happened.
I think that was a twist. I think that was a twist. I think that was one of the. I think that was just a season that was part of it. Like, you can take someone off, but
you go back on. Maybe it was.
I don't know.
I don't know. It was crazy. I just remember it was different at one point in time. So, anyways, what I was saying is like the live feeds and watching them, you do get gameplay and all of that. But when you kind of understand which episodes are produced and how just that behind the scene thing and like how they pitch different people, and it might be a small conversation and then 2 episodes later that conversation is built up. If you catch up on that, you'll start seeing how the game is going. And but the production part, all those people, the producers, they get information we don't know. They get all the live feed information. So I like to think of it as what we're seeing. If you understand it's being produced and they're pitching different things, you're getting to see the average of all of that stuff. And so you don't have to sit there and watch hours and hours and hours, I feel like, to really know what's going on.
yeah, that's true.
They do a good enough job producing it.
I mean, some people just like to know. You know, they like to just sit there and watch people. It's strange, but I used to sit and play Sims and control people a lot.
My kids like to watch other people play video games. So
or play with toys. It's one of the weirdest. That's one of the weirdest phenomena of all time. Is kids watching other kids play with toys on YouTube. Things like that. You got all these toys.
It's crazy, man. So, anyways, let's go into it. Enzo's the HOH. I think we should at least make predictions. Just, I don't know if you're comfortable with that. I'll do it.
As far as who we think he's going to put up?
Just how we feel the game's going. Just throw out a few names of who we think he might put up. We could be totally off. We don't know shit because right now in the game, Enzo is such a wild card and he's in just the Slick Six. So obviously everyone knows to stay away from them. Mm-hmm. You said Ian. I could see him putting up winners in the game before. But I think we should at least just do it because next time we come back, we'll just have it written down and be like, oh, we were way off, and it'll give us something to either be on or off or whatever. And if we lose our credibility, who cares?
I'm not looking to get credibility. I just want to say that also. I like talking about stuff I like, and I like Big Brother, and I like stuff like that. So if you're here to gain credibility from me, you're good. You're setting yourself up for failure.
That's true.
I've said it. If this is your first time listening to us, I've said it many times. Don't listen to anything we say.
That's right. This is pure entertainment.
Listen to us, but don't take it to heart.
That's right. We're
having a good time.
This is for entertainment.
Exactly.
So that's where we're at. Janelle's gone. 3 females in a row gone.
Hey, let's see this. I'm gonna go to.
What were you gonna do in the live feed? Is it just saying about?
I clicked on just the Big Brother Twitter page. It's people mad because it's gonna be an all-guy alliance and all that stuff, like I've talked about. Says when feeds come back and he won HOH, someone has Kaiser, which there's a lot of Kaiser fans on Twitter. Like people are pulling for that guy, which I like the guy too. I'll be honest with you, but
he's just unique to listen to. He's just a different type of guy.
You can't. I'm just not very smart. They're talking about this kid being a rookie and playing like a rookie. How smart is it to go get in a alliance with someone you've already played an entire game with, pretty much
twice?
Yeah,
because the All-Star season,
2 different times. Yeah,
the All-Star season, they were like the Nicole A. and David of the All-Star season. They were on season 6, and the All-Star season was right after.
Yeah,
so they literally lived in the house, partnered up forever, and then they got in this house and got partnered up. It's like, what are they doing?
Not very smart. Not very smart on their part. But I do like the Kaiser guy. I'll be honest. I know I said I'd be getting rid of Nicole Francois. As a true fan, like, dude, she can play. She's good. Her voice is super nasally.
Yeah, it is.
And can get obnoxious, but
that's true.
She can't help that. So
someone else that's dangerous in this game that we haven't brought up but one time, which was funny. The punishment was hilarious to me for Christmas. All the babies,
Oh,
stars,
dude, that would have been
crying.
miserable. How many did she end up with at the end?
I swear it was like 7 or 8.
It was a bunch of them. It's like the Teen Living
What
baby
a
doll.
punishment. Yes. Fuck me, you could just tell it was all fun and games when it was just one baby. Oh, I changed his diaper and it was like 7 of them.
Nightmare, dude. Nightmare.
God, what a good gameplay by Enzo, though, to do that to her. Because he hadn't talked to her the whole time. And then turn right around and win the HOH. It's going to be a good week for Enzo.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. If he won it, it's going to be a really good week for him, man, because it puts him in a position where he can, I don't want to say the word pacify, but that's sort of, I guess, what they're doing at this point, pacify the people around him. Because in a game like this, I don't want to speak too good because I obviously didn't win, so I don't know too much about the shit, but I've watched a lot of it. I feel you've got to pacify your first big alliance as far as do what will ever keep them from saying your freaking name. Pacify them for as long as possible. And then once you find your core that you know you want to go to final 3 or have a final 2 within that, whatever, then you can start satisfying your, okay, this is who we're getting out. You want them out, that's who's going out. No questions. That's when you start satisfying the people around you. Where he sits right now, he needs to just pacify the people around him. Okay, I'll put this person up, but I'm putting this person up because I don't want him to win again. Or whatever he chooses to do.
Yeah, like, so you're saying, so let's say it's Enzo right now. Enzo's number 1 big alliance is the Slick Six.
Yeah.
So I would say he's not putting any of those people up this week on the pacifier.
Correct.
But it also could remove David. The thing is, there's going to be the powers in the house. Tyler and Cody. They're the powers in my opinion right now.
That's what it seems.
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, they have Danny, Nicole F., and them that are all active. Memphis is the shaky member of that, but Danny is like a Tyler soldier in my opinion.
Yeah.
And Nicole F. is just in that room. She's also, I think, in the Slick Six.
She's smart.
Yeah, she's also in the Slick Six, I'm pretty sure. So, anyways, Tyler's not in the Slick Six.
I'm listening to you. I'm looking at this, but I am listening to you.
So Tyler's not in the Slick Six. So when I'm looking at this and I'm thinking about Enzo's reign, Bailey and Devon are in the Slick Six, which makes me feel like the powers in the house are going to want David gone before he runs the game. But Bailey and Devon are not going to want that to happen. So my prediction is it's going to be a David Kaiser on the block.
Okay.
David's going to be the first pawn of BB All-Stars. And he's going to do what all pawns do. That's my prediction.
Yeah.
I could be way off, but I could see them saying, hey, the powers to be, David's got to go up there. Enzo pacifies
and then, like,
the
David
Slick,
wins veto.
or something, or he pacifies the Six, like you just explained, and then it ends up being like, well, David, you got to prove to Devon your loyalty now. You've got to prove your loyalty to us.
Yeah.
You're going up as a pawn against Kaiser, and somehow Kaiser flips the game. Kaiser wins the veto. Who the hell are you going to put up there next to David now that's going to go home over David? No one. And then I think David will make his exit next week, and that's my prediction.
That's probably a pretty good
And
one.
that's why.
I mean, that's probably a pretty good one. He made a real big mistake tonight. Like, we can go into that. We haven't even talked about it at all.
Go ahead.
So he is working with Tyler. Tyler doesn't obviously want a lot of people know that he's working with Tyler. This is David.
That's Tyler's secret vote.
Guy. That's his
He
guy.
knows he
He's
can
going to
beat
take
him.
him as far as possible because no one's going to vote for the guy. Period.
Yeah, he's his
So,
carrier.
David thought it smart to start talking to his other 2 alliance partners who have 2 of the biggest mouths in the entire house. That
Day and Bailey.
Yeah, talking about the conversation.
Him and Cody had.
We'll talk about Janelle coming to Tyler about trying to get rid of one of the females.
Yeah, no, it had to, and also it had to do with Devon was trying to flip votes against David.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
When really, I don't remember if she was. I don't think she was. I think that Devon just had a weird week. You know what I'm saying? She had that whole Davis situation, and then she was like, Enzo and everyone, use the safety suite on me. It's like, what are you talking about? You're in our alliance. We're running the house. Like, why are be being paranoid right now.
Not very smart.
And Enzo kept saying that, don't be paranoid. So, maybe Devon, he doesn't like Devon. I think he knows that Devon is a loudmouth and can explode the house, and I don't think that Enzo likes Devon very much. Just being honest. But I already gave my prediction of what I thought was going to happen. But yeah, go back into that. So David, what did he do? He ran his mouth or something?
He just where he screwed up. I can't remember the exact scenario.
But he definitely was Devon.
He brought up Cody and freaking Tyler's name in front of them, letting them obviously know that those two guys trust him, which you don't want anyone thinking that, obviously. Like, hold on, why do they trust this guy enough to be telling him this stuff? Like, hold on, like, they didn't tell me that type deal. Now it's...
They didn't come to me and say, I'm in their alliance.
When you're in a house like that, man, like that blow, I mean, that's just not good.
Then he turns around and goes back up to the HOA room and just, like, takes full responsibility and now tells Tyler. So his game, David's game is over.
Yeah.
So
he's
got to go.
It's a matter of time.
Yeah, his game's over. I mean, you can't show everyone that these people in the house trust you, and then at first you don't want to tell to people who think that you trust them. So then he felt like he had to tell Devon and Bailey.
Yeah.
Where really in this whole situation, he should have said Ian or Enzo or someone else who wasn't even talking about was talking about it, and then he could have went back and reported to Tyler, I had to lie, but they were grilling me about this. And then Devon, would have been swallowing it because she knows if she gets crazy, she's going home. But she could then have this trust. So David showed, he admitted on camera, I'm just not as good at this game as I thought I could be.
No, of course you're
not. What are you doing? Well, you're playing with some of the best.
But he's also just not using his brain. Like, dude, you think that Bay and Davon are your ride to the final, you're out of your freaking mind. It's a matter of time with them. Like, they talk too much. Like, I wish that alliance could do well. I really do. I think it would be cool to see them actually manipulate the house and work the house. That'd be cool to see. They just can't. I've watched them play the game. They just can't.
Devon's all-star resume is she made it to the jury.
So,
I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, there's people in this game who have won this game. There are people in this game that played the game to win the game but didn't win. They came in second.
Yeah.
There were people, even coming in third and making the final night, that's impressive.
An accomplishment,
There's so much mental game that goes on in Big Brother. It's just, I love just dabbling into it. I love watching it. I'm so glad that me and Emily are watching it again because we took some time off watching it. And so, yeah, man. So, we don't have to ramble on forever.
Well, I want to see, before we get off here, I do want to see if I can find out for sure who won the, because they're saying the live feeds are still not up, so either someone's already spoiled it and they're blocking it big time, or I just can't find it, man. But yeah, dude, that was, it was a decent episode of Big Brother tonight.
Dude, to be honest, it was better than I thought it was going to be. I even texted you.
Yeah, and you said, I think it's going to be a terrible episode. And I told you to watch it because, that's a big part. David talking right there, I'm not going to get too back into it because I think we're about to wrap up. But what he did could truly affect those guys' games big time. Big time. Because those are numbers. Those girls are numbers to them, man. And once they lose those numbers, those are two people are decent numbers. We just had this conversation, man. People will work in groups of two because they know the people need that vote. If they can find the crack or the little crevice and get in there and make a true fracture, it can change the whole game immediately. The only reason I'm not going to give what I think might happen is just because I don't have a freaking clue. So much changes in Big Brother, man, from tonight to next Thursday night. As far as veto and power veto, all that stuff going on. I have no idea. I will say this right now, since this is our first one, I hate we missed the first week. Like I said, Tyler was very sick. Not COVID related, by the way. I know we've talked about being in a pandemic. I wouldn't be sitting here with him if it was COVID related. He just had, he was just ill. But we missed the first week. I hate that. I will truly say I don't feel like we missed much. I was underwhelmed with the cast when they announced it. I will say that about the cast this season. But I like what I've seen so far. I will say that tonight really got me excited because I like seeing big alliances. It happens every time. There's 6 of them. They do stuff. But man, to see a crack that early because they put a guy that's never played the game, but for about maybe half a day, however long he was in the house before they sent him right back out because he was the first one home. They did the competition and the loser went home and he went home. He did not even get to play the game. The fact they put him in there with all-stars, they had to have known that he would change the game in one way or the other. So.
Oh, dude, man. I don't know where you saw the Enzo thing because I'm glad I wasn't looking, but I don't. They're still saying they don't know who the head of household is what I see.
Really?
So I didn't go into too much detail though if Enzo was the head of household.
I did this right here.
Because I've just typed in head of household is all I typed in.
To HOH. Well, we talked about it, and we may be wrong. When you see this, guys, like we're recording this literally after the live eviction tonight. So we don't have live feeds. I'm on Twitter trying to see if someone will show us. If you don't,
but my prediction is still, I don't think it matters who the head of household is unless David or Kaiser win the head of household. I think, for lack of blood purposes, I think those two are who's going to go up on the block.
Yeah.
I really do. I mean, Kaiser has no partners in the game. So it hurts no one's game, him going home.
Yeah, it's true.
And David can do nothing but now hurt people.
Okay. So 1 hour ago it says, why did we think Enzo won HOH? So if we're way off on that,
who cares? That's just how we are.
So it's live. We're probably going to be wrong more often than we're right. Be prepared for that. But we're going to talk about it. We're going to have a good time talking about it. Thanks for listening. This is just Dabbling, Big Brother. When Survivor comes back around, hopefully it does. They're not recording right now. We'll probably get back into what reality are we in. And I like that because Survivor bounces to different places, and I think we should still call that what reality are we in. Okay. But just Dabbling Big Brother sounds great. This is our first episode.
Episode 1.
Hope you enjoyed.
See you.
Check you next time.